All right, and we're live. This is spring break, and this is going to be a wonderful session. We have an amazing show worked out for you. So if you're just tuning in now, make sure that you get your eyes and ears open to have a good conversation. I'm joined today by a rock star professional when it comes to doing things with law. She works with businesses to help get their legal set up, and she is really an entrepreneur who is one for the ages. She's the owner and creator of Go Legal Yourself. And I'd like to welcome to Growth Amplifiers, Kelly Bagla.
It's fantastic to be on with you, Kenny.
It's fantastic to be here, to be rocking and rolling. You know, I mentioned just a moment ago, I'm actually in a different set today. I'm here in Orlando, Florida. The weather is started picking up, but it was actually 1 year ago today, not today, approximately 1 year ago, that life completely was flipped upside down. We stayed in this exact hotel, and we were doing spring break. And when we came back, everything completely changed. Everything completely changed. We had Zoom, we had pandemics, we had protests. And the moral of the story is, you know, you're going to have things that challenge you, but you could be proactive and you could realize that challenges help us grow. So if you're thinking about that, I just want you to tune in and start thinking about that. Just think of how much has changed in a year. And Kelly, what I'd like for you to do now, if you could just take a quick moment to kind of introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be the rock star professional that you are today.
Well, thank you, Kenny. There's a saying in my culture, right? So why blend in when you were born to stand out? And I've lived every moment of my life that way. And having incredible loving parents from the beginning really set me on the right path, meaning I come from a large family, Kenny, and you know, they're all in the medical field except for me. I decided to go out into law. You know, I had no idea what law was or what a lawyer did. But I stuck to my convictions, and here I am. It's been 17 years I've been practicing law, Kenny, 17 years, and I've loved every moment of it, right? And I started out with the largest international law firm in the world at the time, doing some international work, doing cross-border work, doing domestic work. And then from there, I decided, you know, I need to go and move down to probably a smaller firm. There were about 17 of us. I was one of the guys, right? I was the only female attorney there, but it was fantastic. And so I quickly made a senior corporate attorney within 6 months from me being there. And very quickly, I realized, okay, at the big firm, Kenny, you know, they teach you how to practice law, and that's all we did. We sat behind our desks and we worked and worked and worked. We never got to actually interact with the client. And then at the smaller firm, it was encouraged that you go out and do some rainmaking, if you will, and interact with people. So I really learned how to sell at the smaller firm. And then about 11 years ago, Kenny, that's when I decided I'm going to go out on my own, right? Life is way too short to work for someone else. And I had a very different vision that I wanted to bring to my clientele. So yes, being a lawyer, being a business attorney, just even being a lawyer, it's got a really bad reputation, right? Oh, you're a lawyer. I hope I don't need you. Well, I'm not that type of lawyer. I'm the type of lawyer that you're praying for, right? I'm the one that's going to help you set up your business with a solid legal foundation from day one, so you can actually keep on building. It's the same analogy, Kenny, as far as you're building a house, right? You're going to make sure the foundation is strong before you continue building. Same thing with your business.
Well, number one, we kind of share a similar parallel path. Obviously, different backgrounds. We play different instruments. But I had that same sort of experience kind of getting into larger advertising agencies and getting to work on larger accounts. And it was really cool. You had big budgets. You got to do some things that were kind of known for international. They were winning awards. But there was something about working with the smaller entrepreneur, connecting with people one-on-one, seeing them light up, having that direct interaction that just was completely different. As far as how you got into law? Like what was the really inspiration, the backstory that kind of got you just really excited about that being your path and saying, hey, this is the industry I really want to step in?
I honestly can say that I was born to be a lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Literally born to be a lawyer. Somebody had asked me, Kenny, this is quite funny. Someone asked me probably a couple of years ago, Kelly, if you weren't a lawyer, what would you be? Right? I had this really puzzled look on my face. I'd say I'd be a lawyer. I absolutely love what I do. I think the notion hit in, but obviously I have a funny accent, right? Your listeners can hear that, but I was born and raised in England, and there was a English show on TV. I believe it was called The Queen's Counsel. And
Mm.
it was just so magnificent to sort of see how the attorney always sort of won the case and won it fair and square and what have you. And that kind of attracted me to law. And then my father, he actually ended up buying a factory that he worked in on the assembly line, Kenny. So he is a huge influence in my life. And so I always knew, okay, I want to do something in business law. And it's really served me well because as I stepped out on my own 11 years ago, with Bagla Law Firm, I was again, working with entrepreneurs at all stages of their life,
Mhm.
startups, companies that were growing, companies that wanted to expand nationwide and even international too. And about 3 years ago, so during that time, I kept getting clients coming to me saying, Kelly, I've already done this or I've already done that. Can you review it? Well, most of the time, what they had done, they had set themselves up or incorporated their business, but it was always wrong, Kenny. It was always wrong. There's multitude of different types of businesses you can set up, right? But they didn't know any better. Why? Because their neighbor did it, or their neighbor's girlfriend's brother's uncle, someone that they knew did it that way, right? So I made it my mission about 3 years ago. That's when I founded golegalyourself.com. It's an online service for entrepreneurs that want to start and grow their business the right way. And they're fixed legal packages. So this way they know, okay, it's attorney drafted. These are the same packages I use with my clients. It's attorney drafted and it's proven by other clients too. So if they want to start a business, I'm taking the guesswork out of it. I'm taking the scariness out of it, because it's never fun when you're talking to an attorney, right? We can be intimidating, I know.
Well, I think that's one of the things right there is, you want to be effective. You don't want to bother someone's time, feel like I'm spending a lot of money and I don't even know the questions to ask. I don't know what I need to do. And maybe I've just spent a few hundred or a few $1,000s and I kind of didn't have a good plan. So I kind of wasted both of our times. So being able to kind of get some initial information, kind of set yourself up, get the knowledge and a pathway so that you can make some informed decisions and not reinventing the wheel seems really, really, really helpful.
Absolutely. Again, you hit it on the head, right? People don't know what they don't know. And sometimes they do feel less superior when they're talking to a professional. It's okay. That's why we go to school and you don't have to, right? It's okay to call me up and say, Kelly, I've got a really, really dumb question. There aren't any dumb questions. Just call me and I'll be happy to answer whatever question. But this is what gets people in trouble, Kenny, all the time. Entrepreneurs absolutely love entrepreneurs. I'm one too, right? So when I went to law school, Kenny, this is going to be a shocker. They don't teach you how to become your own boss in law school. Shocker, right?
Shocker. Right. Right.
They do not teach you in college. They don't teach you at all. Literally, it's going to be hands-on. And so I made it my mission. I said, okay, I'm not just an attorney. I'm actually an entrepreneur. I've invented stuff too that I have a patent on, right? So walk in the same shoes as my clients that are coming to me for help, or these entrepreneurs. I know where the head is. I know where the budget is. I know how to counsel them and make sure that they're starting their fantastic venture on the right legal foot.
So for the small business who maybe can't afford necessarily, or they're not ready at that point, a huge retainer attorney, they can at least get something on their back, get their immediate needs met, and have a pathway to continually climb as they continue to grow.
Absolutely, that's it. Because when it comes to legal, right, it can cost anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15, even $20,000. And this is just starting your business, right, Kenny?
Right.
Who's got 20K just to throw at legal? I know I don't, and I'm a lawyer, right?
Right.
I know some of the other entrepreneurs don't, but they do have a small budget. And that's why I wanted to make legal accessible for everyone that wants to start their venture on the right legal foot. I know I keep saying right legal foot because what are the options right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Today, they've got two options. They've got either they can go to a law firm and yes, spend that 20,000 just to on your startup section. We're not even talking about growth and we're not even talking about website stuff, right? That's
Right.
just the legal paperwork. Or you can go online and find other legal companies that provide just the legal documents, but they're not law firms. They can't give you advice. So, you know how many times I had to change an LLC structure to a corporation because it was set up wrong? I'm not blaming entrepreneurs. They're just go getters. Again, I love entrepreneurs. They're go getters. They want things to happen. But you really have to take a second, right? As an entrepreneur, step back and say, what's going to bring you down really quick, really hard? Two things: money, loss of money, and being sued, right?
Right.
Exactly, being sued. So that's why I've actually been awarded, sort of in publications as well. I've been the feature cover. Why?
Mm.
Because I'm innovating legal and I'm making it accessible, Kenny, for people just like you and your listeners.
So if people wanted to learn more about, Go Legal Yourself, where would they go? What could they do? What's a good first step?
First step would be to go to Amazon, right? Everyone knows Amazon. And I can't tell you, this is going to be the best $20 you have ever spent in your entire life. It's this
Wow.
book. I'm so, so excited about this book, Kenny. It's with Wiley. So there you go. Wiley is the publisher. This book comes with at least $1,000 worth of free templates and checklists, and it's going to be the best $20. It literally, it's a guide that teaches you how to start your business, how to grow your business, how to establish it, right? And then eventually how to create a multi-million-dollar business so you can sell it for that much. So that would be the first step. Go to Amazon and actually buy Go Legal Yourself. And then please check out golegalyourself.com. Everything that you need to start your business and grow your business is right there. Plus, they can always reach out to me. I love talking to entrepreneurs. Kelly at golegalyourself.com.
That is super sweet and awesome. So now, what is, you've been teaching us some great things to consider, but what's a lesson that you've learned on your journey that might help others on their journey?
Marketing, Kenny. You may know a thing or two about that, right? Yeah, it's very difficult. It's fantastic to have a product, right? It could be a product or a service, whatever you're selling out there. People want to buy from you because they genuinely do like you, but they don't know you exist. So how are they going to find out where you are? I would say you would have to step back for a second and really understand the marketing aspect of your business and your products or services. Talk to someone like Kenny who's in the marketing arena, right? Well, what does this look like, Kenny? If I want X amount of clients at the end of X amount of time, what do I need to do to invest with you? Because there's so many different avenues of marketing. So really get yourself clear on where your target market is and how do they find the services that you're offering. And that's when it comes to talking to a professional like you.
Well, I thank you very much, Kelly, for the wonderful little endorsement. And regardless if it's me or someone you know, here's just a clarification that I'd like to put out for you who may be tuning in, is there are a lot of great marketers who are good at tactical marketing. Maybe they get branding, maybe they get SEO, they know the latest social media apps to use. However, one thing you want to pay attention to is really finding a strategic advisor that can be looking at the holistic picture and not kind of get tunnel vision on what they know. There's a lot of people who will prescribe the medication that they know, and it's not always the right medication. So really getting a diagnosis of where you're wanting to go, where are your gaps, so you're taking the right actions to get into the right place.
I couldn't agree with you more, Kenny. Honest to God, I couldn't. The reason being is because everybody and their brother does marketing now, right?
Right?
And kudos for them. Seriously, Godspeed to them. But when it comes to you and your business, it becomes very personalized, and you have to find someone that understands your market, that has actually sold high-end products, and they know how to get that out there. And when I first started out, I was coming across these marketers that did, oh, you have to do Facebook marketing. Oh, we can sell it on Instagram. Well, no, you can't sell high-end products like this on Instagram without having a backstory to it. So really, this is the one piece of advice that I would give anyone listening out there. Don't just focus on, I need to get my product out there. You actually need a game plan. You've got to sit down with the right marketing partner to get that game plan out.
Excellent. So one of the things we do here in Growth Amplifiers is we do host events. We host masterminds. We have growth groups, and we like to invite different people from different backgrounds to come in. And it's all about building relationships. And sometimes we get people who ask questions. So what we're going to do is introduce some questions that have been asked, and I'd love to get your insight, your feedback on some of these questions as we kind of step into this part of the show.
Absolutely.
So one question that I did pull up, this is from a lady named Janice, and I'm not going with full names for the sake of
privacy. Yeah,
privacy. She was actually asking about trademarks, and she was saying that she has all these branded concepts, and she realizes the importance of distinguishing her products and services from her competitors. But she's kind of in that spot where we were talking about earlier, where she doesn't want to spend uber amount of money branding all this stuff when she's not quite at that point where she has the cash flow going to be able to invest a large amount of money into it. So for somebody who's at that point where they're trying to launch maybe several different brand components, and they want to get it registered or trademarked, but they don't quite have the coin to go all in, what would kind of be the best way to work that?
The best way to do that is at least start with one trademark, which is going to be your most popular service or product that you're trying to sell. Protecting the business assets, right? So the names they could be worth millions and millions of dollars, just the name itself. Could you imagine if Coca-Cola didn't trademark their name, and Apple, there was a legal battle, with Apple as well? I mean, what about Mercedes-Benz, right? So all of these are trademarked. And now if somebody wanted to say, for example, even McDonald's is trademarked, right? So say somebody wanted to say, we're going to start a brand new chain of fountain drink stores, right? And they go to Coca-Cola and say, can we license the name, right? Can we use your name to open these beverage stores? Well, Coca-Cola is going to be in the right position to do that. Why? Because they own the name. They've registered it. They have rights to use that name, which means they've got rights to either license it or they've got rights to sell it, which they never will, because there's no price on that. There's zero price. Or they can turn it into a franchise and say, okay, we'll franchise this to you. But these are options that are available to any business owner, even the lady that asked that question. Start with trademarking the one name. You can do multiple different revenue streams you can set up with that.
That's a good first step. So just get started. Now, let's say she hears that and says, all right, that's where I go. Now what do I do? That's what I should do. Now, how do I get started doing that?
Perfect. Well, she can call me or she can email me directly. I'll be happy to help her with filing for the trademark. There different, again, this book, Kenny, right? It actually talks about branding in here. How do you protect your brand, right? What is trademarkable? What isn't trademarkable? Fantastic little guide here that you should literally have on your bedside table. right? And take it anywhere where you go too, because it talks about the different types of protection you can get from the USPTO, United States Post Office. I'm sorry, United States Patent and Trademark Office. I just gave the US Post Office a shout out there, but they're not bad either, right? And so definitely reach out to an attorney. Myself, I'll be happy to talk with her, and then it's a flat rate to get one and done, so it's not costing you thousands and thousands of dollars. That way you can chip away at the ones that you definitely know you're going to get protection on, and the ones that you're not going to get protection on, focus, get rid of those and focus on the ones that can actually bring you in money.
I love the advice. You got to get started. That how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Exactly. I love elephants, Kenny. Never ever eat an elephant. But if
I've
you
never
had
eaten
to,
one either.
if you had to, this is so funny. So my husband, right? His son is a Marine legend, Sergeant Waters, and we asked this same question of Legend and said, Legend, how do you eat an elephant? He goes, I don't know. Start with the trunk. Because it's the smallest part on the elephant, I think, right? But I know, but you're right. One bite at a time.
So there you go. Janice, thank you for the question. And that's how you're going to get started. It's very simple. So now I'm going to just switch it up real quick, Kelly, and ask you, do you happen to have any sort of webinar for some of the topics that you have in your book?
That's fantastic question, Kenny. Thank you for asking. We actually do have a podcast at the moment. It's called Go Legal Yourself. You can go to golegalyourselfpodcast.com, or actually download the app Go Legal Yourself from your app stores. That way you can contact me directly, and you can contact any of my guests that I've had on too. But yes, those are the next plans of actually having a webinar, so we can walk people through the entire book on starting, growing, and finally exiting your business.
Bravo.
Thank you. Yes. That's the beauty about business, isn't it? It's forever evolving. You got to evolve with the times.
You got to evolve at the times. And, sometimes when you're addressing a situation, you're at one level and you're going to do, that first, you're going to get the trunk. And then a little bit later, all right, now we're at a different point. We got to do a little bit more of this elephant. Right. Now, there's some elephants right now that are like, hey, what's going on? Talking a lot about eating elephants over there.
Yes, we don't eat elephants. I'm repeating that one more time.
Right. We're going to just change the topic there. But real quick, in regards to podcasts, do you happen to know which podcast is solution you use? Just polling around. Who
do I use? Do you mean the platform? Oh, but Libsyn. I'm with Libsyn.
Wonderful. Great tool. Highly recommend.
Yes. And by the way, Kenny, in July, I think it's July 6th, maybe, but in July, we're going to be hitting our 100th episode. And I'll be interviewing Rob Walsh. He is the VP with Libsyn. So, woohoo!
Yay. Awesome sauce. Well,
yes.
Thank you for sharing that little tidbit. And I did have another question come in. This is from a gentleman named Gary. And Jerry, he was talking about lead generation and prospecting. And we were kind of been talking about marketing a little bit. Marketing meets sales. He says he has the tool, but where he lacks is kind of the motivation. He's lacking a little bit of the motivation to go out there and kind of make those contacts, to do some of those things. And I think I'm bringing that up because sometimes people may look at the legal, we're going to call it a wall, not an elephant.
There you go.
the legal wall, and they need to get past it. But they look at it, and it's kind of like other walls that we have in our lives and businesses. We look at it, it gets overwhelming, and then we're like, we know the one step at a time, right? But what's a way that you found to get motivated that really fuels you to get amplified so you can start taking new actions and continue moving things forward. You're highly accomplished. You're an awesome entrepreneur that has an amazing book, podcast, created some great programs. So I know that you've got the stuff, and I'm just wondering if you could share kind of like your tip that gets you juiced, jazzed, and amplified.
I would love to, Kenny. Thank you so much because, I'm when I get out of bed, there's a saying, and I think this is just really, really sweet, right? It's when my feet hit the floor, right? The devil goes, "Oh no, she's up." Every day you got to grab the world by the pearls, right? So this is for Gary, did you say?
Yes.
I know I'm a lady after all, so I have to use those words. But what really motivates you to grab the world by the pearls every single day is you have to wake up early. You have to wake up. I personally wake up between 3 and 3:30. And again, I blame my husband for that, right? But that's the moment when we wake up, we actually have breakfast together. I start to work out. He works out and then he's off to work. You have to have something in your life that's going to get you going, right? I've always been a gym rat. And so I love working out, love walking the dogs. If you have dogs, definitely get them on your schedule. Our dogs, they wake up with us too, Kenny. And so they're on the same schedule. So you have to really love what you do, right? You've probably heard that saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I feel like that, Kenny. I'm very blessed. I love what I do. So you have to have passion for what you do. If you have that passion and you want to work towards that passion, there's nothing that can stop you. Absolutely nothing. So to motivate yourself, you have to get yourself right in the head first. And what I mean by the head first is you have to literally, if you're the type of person that needs 5 or 10 minutes, sit on the edge of the bed, right? And think about what your day is going to be like, right? And during that day, see if you can actually help someone, just one person. If you can make a connection with someone, that's going to be the biggest reward you can actually get as an individual, as someone that wants to go into business for themselves, because the business world is very small, and and your reputation is it's going to be huge, right? Everything is going to rely on your reputation. So if you say something that you're going to do it, you better do that. Follow through. There's another book that I wrote. It's called Go Own Yourself. That's on Amazon too. And that literally tells you about the success or the successful habits that my successful clients do every day. Other multi-million dollar people out there do every day. You can do that too. Don't distinguish yourself from, who's out there. Jeff Bezos, right? Let's just call him, or even Elon Musk, right? Love what he's doing. He's defining everything against his board, and he's going out and doing it because he has love for it. So pick a day, start early. That way you control the way the day goes, and start chasing after your dream to make it a reality. It's not going to be it's going to be very, very simple to motivate you as you continue doing this. Start early, get exercise in. It's amazing the amount of pump you're going to have for the rest of the day.
I love hearing that straight from the source, right out the tap.
Yes.
One thing I'll share, Gary, or for others who are tuning in and listening to that, is kind of like we were saying earlier, it's okay to start small. It's okay to start small. Very commonly, people will be like, you know what? I'm so motivated right now. Kelly's just got me so juiced up. I'm just going to start getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning every day for the next several months. And then that happens for a couple of days, and they're like, okay, that didn't work. So if you can't do everything and have a complete transformation right away, just start with saying, all right, this is the one thing I'm going to start getting implemented. I'm going to start making this a little change right here, right now, and then you'll start building a cadence for it. So that's how people like Kelly get to where they're at. It's a consistency of continually taking amplified actions. So as we're kind of wrapping up, and number one, thank you for showing up and sharing your awesome. Number two, is there a website or a URL you'd like to point people to, or any other action? We pointed the book out, and you want to hold it up one more time just to share that, because if they're tuning in and kind of been, all right, go legal yourself right there. I just chatted the link in social for Amazon. So definitely pick up a copy. I'm going to pick up a copy. It's definitely worth it. If all you get is one idea, which is chock full of a lot of ideas and a lot of templates and resources, thousands of dollars worth, if all you got is one idea, it'd be totally worth it.
Exactly. And the other thing too, for the entrepreneurs that are having a hard time being motivated, you have to love what you do. It goes back to who you are. If you don't love what you do, you're not in the right business. I'm saving you a pain and heartache. A year from now, 2 years from now, you're going to turn around and say, wow, this really isn't for me. I don't like what I'm doing. But imagine if you found something that you absolutely love doing, right? It's not only you making a living for yourself, but you're making a living for your family, for your community. You're even going to leave a legacy behind. What's greater than that, Kenny?
That is what this is all about. Using your unique gifts, following your true passion, serving a higher purpose, coming together full circle. So thanks for tuning in. I highly recommend picking up a copy of the book, connecting with Kelly. She is a rock star professional. And, at the end of the day, just, you mentioned one thing, Kelly, I just want to end on that high note. Far too often in our culture, we can get so focused on, self-improvement that we can forget that at the end of the day, if we could just help more people, like you were saying, that's really how we amplify. So work on yourself so you can help more, and then it comes back full circle.
Absolutely, Kenny. And remember, I'm always here for you, Kenny. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. It's been awesome. It's been real. Until next time, keep on amplifying. To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.